Greetings and salutations, guys. Welcome to another podcast. I know no, it's fine.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Well, usually I do a podcast in another room, but this is a little different, so I have to do it in here. Anyway, today we have Toni. Toni is pretty awesome. Anyway, this is going to be a special Father's Day episode because she has faced a lot of adversity in her life, and I think it's really important for you all to know that everyone has a different situation with their lives. And that's all I'm going to say. So, Toni, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
And I usually ask people where and what time they were born, if they know. Do you know any of that?
I know I was born at Chestnut Hill Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, no the time.
Nothing else? Okay. All right. Cool. That's all good. All right. So kind of just take us through your life. Take us through, and really quick, you guys can't see her, but shout out to New York, for helping me with the camera position. She just did it to be nice, but yeah. So shout out to her, and she's awesome too. All right. So, what was it like growing up? Give me some of your upbringing.
For the most part, I think I had a pretty good life. I had my mom, my dad, my sister, and a half brother of mine.
Okay.
It was just a great home full of love, joy, laughter, things like that. So my family's from Antigua, so we stayed there for a little bit. My parents traveled back and forth because my mom's side is from there. I grew up the street from my grandmom, my uncle, my grandfather lived next door to me. My great grandma lived around the corner. It was just a very tight community with my family. So.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also sounds like you cannot get in trouble
with anything,
without anybody knowing.
No.
Yes. I feel like we need more of that now, because these kids these days don't even get me started.
It takes a village for real.
Anywho, so what did your parents do, progressing through life? Just tell me a little about growing up in school. What was that like for you?
School was pretty good. I had parents who were very big on education. At the time, my parents were high school dropouts because they were teenage parents.
Okay.
So my mom and dad ended up going back to school and getting their GEDs when my sister was born, and then I came along 3 years later. My mom ended up going back to nursing school when I was around 10, 11, graduated from Jefferson, and my dad, he was a entrepreneur.
Okay.
And then I ended up going to high school in West Philadelphia. We relocated to West Philly, and then my mom started working at Mercy, and my dad was still an entrepreneur at that time.
Nice. What kind of entrepreneur stuff? That sounded grammatically incorrect. And what type of an entrepreneur?
So my dad owned properties.
Okay.
And he was a contractor. He was a roofer.
A roofer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And they, just because some people don't know, he repairs roofs.
Yeah. He did, and then he ended up passing out on the roof, so he stopped doing it. And that's how we found out he had diabetes.
Oh.
So he stopped roofing at that time because he ended up passing out. So he stopped doing that.
And he didn't fall off the roof when he passed out?
Everyone grabbed him. No, he didn't fall off the roof.
Oh, so he wasn't the only one on the roof?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No.
I mean, but do you think if he would have gotten his diabetes, once under control, he could have continued roofing? I feel like he could have.
But my mom was more so I was going to lose my husband, so she really wasn't feeling it. And then my parents ended up buying a bar. In the meantime, when my mom was at nursing school, and my dad he stopped roofing, and he was just having the property, so then we ended up buying a family bar in Mount Airy.
Do you still have this bar?
No, they sold it a couple years later, yeah.
I was about to say, I know where I'm going this weekend. But okay. So they were big on education, so kudos to your parents for just doing what they were doing as they had you guys, because I can't imagine being an entrepreneur in general is difficult as it is, and then having children on top of it.
Yeah.
How many siblings do you have?
So I have an older sister and an older half brother.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. That's cool. So moving forward, tell us why I wanted you to be on this podcast today. Because always tell people I like them to overcome adversity. So, like, tell us why it's so important.
So I know that you and I have talked before on a more personal level.
Yes.
And you know that my dad committed suicide, and then my stepdad passed away as well last year. I don't know if I told you that.
No.
So I've lost basically two major father figures in my life. So yeah.
Obviously that's horrible.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say, I like the fact that we're talking about that, but that kind of sounded insensitive. What I'm saying is, I bring mental health up a lot in my podcast, so I think this is very important, especially in the Black and Hispanic communities. We don't talk about this kind of stuff. So, do you know what led to your father's suicide?
And I'm not sure if people really you ever really know, because you think maybe to yourself it's not as bad as it makes, the things that was going on around you. It wasn't as bad as it would have seemed, but my dad also suffered from manic bipolar disorder as well. So something that's to me wouldn't cause me to really go over the edge, but for him, it felt like the world was kind of collapsing around him. And my parents, again, they were high school sweethearts. They met when they were 14. My dad passed away when he was 36. 35, 36. So they were together the entire time. And my dad had tried to commit suicide 3 years before that. And he tried to lock my mom in the room and kill himself in front of her. So he went to the hospital. That's how he got diagnosed. So we already knew that there was something going on. But from that incident, my mom was kind of already traumatized by it. So she was like, I just need space. So she decided to leave. And I stayed with my dad, and my sister left with my mom. And I think that her leaving him was so difficult for him to understand and still realize that he was loved, because he had lost so many people, and it was only me there. It kind of, I think, it was just too much.
Now, I want to know, did you? Now looking back on it, were there signs that there was something like that he was bipolar that you guys just didn't pick up on? Or did it just, because I'm not too familiar with that disorder.
So I don't really think that there were, me as a kid growing up, that there were signs. It wasn't really until that incident happened with my parents, so we were in the house when it happened. It wasn't until then where it was clear that just something wasn't right.
Okay.
My dad was very it was very different for me, because him and I were so similar. We were I was his twin. You know, personality, the way I look, everything. We were twins. So for me, I never saw anything abnormal about it. It was just this is just who he is, and he's always been that way my whole life.
Okay.
But he was never manic. He never was abusive. He was just never that person. He was always loving. But he would be either in a really dark place or a really happy place. So
there's never anything in between.
Yeah, there's nothing in between.
And so you obviously you all knew it was either one extreme or the other, but you probably didn't know that he was bipolar.
Yeah, because most of the time he was in the good place, the happy place. You know what I mean? So I think that's what it was.
Jesus Christ! That's why I have beer for this alcohol for these kinds of things.
Right.
So, like I said, I'm very sorry that your dad passed away. That's horrible. My audience knows I was in foster care, so I had two moms, and my first let me not say that. My first mother, she was married to a man. They were my foster parents from the time I was 2 until I was 9, 7, 8, something like that. And then I went to a new home. Anyway, all this to say that she died 5 years ago, and last week was her 5 years since she's passed, and that fucked me up. Because even though I didn't live with her anymore, she went to my high school graduation. We talked every week. My new mom, who adopted me, never kept me from them. It's well, they did all the other work. I can't keep you from them. So I know what you're going. Maybe not that, but losing a parent, it was really hard on me. I just, it was even now, there's still times we had like a DVD memorial of her entire life. This sounds horrible, but I take in the DVD and I use it as a leg stand. Like to keep the table from teetering, I cannot watch it. I am so scared to watch. Good God.
Yeah.
So like, how did your family cope? How did you cope? Like when it happened? Like what, do you still struggle now? Are you afraid that you might be bipolar later on?
So for the mental health piece of it, I've gotten a lot of I will say I got a lot of therapy. I get a lot of therapy. You know what I mean? It is the only thing that really keeps me going most days. You know what I mean? Because I found my dad, so it's very like the circumstances are very different for me because I do suffer from PTSD. That's something I am aware of that I go to therapy for, but I more so fear that when I have kids, because I want to have a lot of kids, that they will suffer from these things as well. But I think I'm more equipped now to see the signs, know the signs, and hopefully get them help, because my dad saw the signs in me when my mom really didn't. She didn't really understand it. And especially coming from like a Caribbean background and then a Black background, it's very hard to come to your parents and say, listen, I am having these type of issues. And my mom was like, well, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. My dad was like, more like, no, you act just like me. So let me get you the help. And I've had the same therapist since I was 13 until now.
Good.
You know what I mean? So that's really my fear when it comes to mental health disorders, especially bipolar disorder. For my family, I guess coping, I'm not really sure. Like I just remember like I just used to wake up every day and it just was like I just wasn't okay. I wasn't even functioning. I wasn't myself. I didn't smile for months. And I remember my grandma called me and she was like, well, let's just pray while we're on the phone. You know what I mean? And we prayed through it. And then something like the next day, just like I always tell people who have lost parents as well, like you kind of just feel like shit. And then at some point, you just wake up one day and you feel less like shit, and that's just the kick you need to just function. You know what I mean? So I think that's just what it was.
I know for me, like, I felt guilty. I called my dad and his wife, and I cried, saying how much I miss her.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You think you miss her? I was married to her for 48 years, not taking away from your pain, but you know." And she's like, what got me is like, you're not the only one suffering. Like, we're all upset. Like, he never made me feel bad, but he just reminded me that, like, yeah, you were for like 20-something years, but I had 48 years with her.
Yeah.
Like, imagine how I feel. You know, that kind of helped me feel less shitty the next day when he said.
That's painful too, though.
Right.
You know, like when you hear that, because like for me, this only happened 7 years ago.
Okay.
So I was only 16, and my mom was like, you know, we were married my whole life. It sucks. That was like my husband, the love of my life. I'm like, I get that, but I kind of like envied her for having that much time, because I didn't have a lot of time. You'll never see me graduate high school. You'll never you know what I mean. It's a lot of like feelings for that. So that's more painful, I think, too. So
I know. Yeah. I think looking back on it, because everyone knows I didn't graduate college, and I think that's part of the reason why I didn't, because 3 days before she died, she's like, I can't wait to see you walk down the aisle and get your college diploma. And I remember at the funeral, I kept hearing, I can't wait till you get your diploma. And that fucked me up. And I'm just like, she's never going to see it. And on a subconscious level, I think I didn't want to get it, knowing that she wasn't, oh shit, I just realized that she's not going to be there to see it. And I just didn't want to go through that again. That pain of everything. Please, so what do you do now to like make yourself feel better? Like that's one thing I didn't know. I didn't know you found them. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Shit.
Like, I don't know. It's like I've always, even when I went to therapy, she gave me all like this list of things you're supposed to do to make yourself feel better. And so I used to like, okay, let me go running, or okay, like I got really heavy into like volleyball, and so I played in college. I played volleyball almost my whole life.
Right.
So I just like would go super hard in the gym or super hard on the court. You know what I mean? Like I try to use these healthy coping mechanisms to push through the hard days.
Right.
But I kind of learned, like, even the older I get, that like right now I can sit here and I can cry about it.
Right.
And I'm more content with like sitting in the discomfort and sitting in the sadness.
Yes.
Versus running away from it.
Yes.
Because it's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
So if I try to like just work super hard and get my endorphins going, it doesn't erase it. It just makes me feel good for right now. So let me feel what I feel right now. I'm entitled to that. I can own the way I feel right now, and I think that's the only thing that has helped me be like everyone was like, well, you just have to get past it and you'll be okay, and you just have to let time take its course. Okay, and it's been 7 years. First 2 years, I'm like, well, maybe I should be feeling better. But now I'm like, let me just feel how I feel, and whoever is like, hey, fuck you. You know what I mean? I just want to feel how I feel because you didn't go through what I went through. And
exactly.
No one even in my family, yeah, you lost someone, but you didn't go through what I went through. You didn't have to find them. You didn't have to call 911. I had to go through that. So let me feel the way I feel. You know what I mean? I think that's what this is. Like, owning up to how I feel, living in it, and just taking it 1 minute at a time, 1 second at a time, 1 hour at a time, and let me just get through it. Let me just, you know what I mean, push through that. So.
Damn. Now you got me crying.
Sorry.
Shit. No, but like, I know for me, what gets me through it is the last thing, because the way my mom died, we talked on a Tuesday, and then by that Friday, Saturday, she was still alive because of the machines, but she was basically dead. Like, she went into the hospital, and it's not worth getting into because my family would kill me. Anyway, but anyway, the point is, like, the thing that gets me through it every day is the last conversation we had. She's like, I love you. I love you so much. Yeah. And I'm like, I love you too, Mom. And that was the last thing we said to each other. So whenever I have a day where I feel like shit, I'm just like, at least I said I love you. Like, at least we said I love you to each other. Fuck.
And I think that's the thing, though.
Damn it!
I didn't, sorry, Dad.
No, it's okay.
I think that's the thing, though. I think in that I lived with a lot of regret for a while. I didn't get to tell my dad that I loved him beforehand. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like, I remember he called me that day, and he was like, I just hope everyone's happy. And then I came home. So, I wish I would have had that moment, but it is what it is. You mean, like, life happens the way it happens. You can't go back and really, so.
I hate you right now. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry.
I hate you right now. No, but I don't. So, like, I guess, shit. Fuck. Wait, hold on. Give me a minute. So, I guess my next question is, because now we're crying, and
right.
I'm very upset that we're crying. How do you... I want to talk about, like, I guess, what were some good memories that you've had with your dad that helped, like, look back and you're like, damn, that was funny. That was a good time.
I was actually just talking to my coworker about it. We were talking about nostalgic moments. And I always tell people the same story. And I actually have it on video, but I'm kind of like you. I just haven't been able to pull the video and watch it.
Yeah.
It's been so long. My parents rented I was like 6 or 7 years old. I'll never forget it. And they rented a house in Florida, and then they had an outside pool, and then it was like a screen over it, but the rain and stuff could still come in. It was pouring. You know how Florida rain is?
Yeah.
It was lightning, it was thunder, it was a mess.
It's beautiful.
And it was, like, you know what I mean? It was just a good time.
Yes.
And my mom was like, you guys need to get a house where you get, like, struck by lightning, And I'm like, okay. And then my dad, I was like, but I really want to be in the pool, and I started to cry. And my dad was like, well, we're staying out here. And my mom was like, you're going to kill my daughter. And he, like, dove me in the pool. He picked me up, threw me in the pool. And I remember just like laughing and like I just couldn't. Like for some reason I don't know what was funny, but I was young and it was exciting for me because I was in the rain, I was in the pool. It was just a lot going on, and I just laughed and laughed. And he held me in the pool and just don't let me go, please don't let me go. He'd never let me go, and I just laughed and laughed and laughed. And I think that was to this day that is my favorite memory of like living life. That was the best.
That's funny and scary.
Yeah, it was scary.
Looking back on it, you're like, he let me go in the pool when it was lightning.
Right.
We both could have died.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you would have. Wow.
But I knew he had me, so it didn't matter.
So anything could have happened.
Anything could have happened.
And I know for me, like, one of my favorite memories, my mom, she could two things. She could not pronounce R correctly. Like sometimes we'd say, Mom, say the alphabet.
Right.
And she'd get to R and say Aura.
Right.
And we would giggle. And the other thing is I'll never forget when, this will show my age, in 1999, you know, when it was going to hit 2000, the millennium, she could not say millennium to save her life. And us being little shit kids, we're like, Mom, say millennium.
Right.
And she'd say it and get on, and she's like, and it was just stuff like that. Like we used to, she got scared easily, so we would pop out of places and have her screaming. We were horrible little shits to her. Like but you can tell she loved us. You can tell, like, she had a lot of health issues because she was morbidly obese. And even though she lost the weight, I think all the complications caught up with her because of her weight. But yeah, it was, looking back on it, I'm just like, man, we could have been a lot nicer.
Right.
We should not have been popping out of places and making her scream. And we put Freddy Krueger on the TV one day. So when she came to her room, that was the first thing she saw. And she's like, what is wrong with you? Look, we were horrible children. Damn, what was wrong with us?
Oh, it's fine. We're kids. Like just kid things.
She just, like, she always, like, I don't know, like in the summertime, she had this big bag of arts and crafts that she made us do. We had to do school, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she made sure education is important. And she made it fun and stuff like that. So what do you do now? Like, tell us something happy, because I'm still mad you made me cry. I have a vendetta against you now.
You just say something happy?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, tell us, like, you don't mind me saying, you're gay or bisexual?
I guess bisexual, I guess, yeah.
It's Pride Month.
Yeah.
You told me about your girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
What makes her so great?
She's always been there for me.
Okay.
We got together at a weird time when my stepdad passed away, so she's always been there, which is good.
That's good. Yeah. What'd you guys do for, like, 'cause I made a post about this. You were at Pride Parade this weekend?
No,
this past weekend?
My girlfriend worked, so I didn't go.
Okay.
She works at a hospital, so she couldn't come. Yeah.
Do you guys find this month important, or you don't care?
Oh, absolutely. Like, we just came from Pride in Miami. We're going to New York Pride.
I'm excited for
on
that.
the 27th.
Yes.
So we always, like, obviously LGBTQ is very, very, very important to us because that's within our household. That's the relationship that we live in every day. So it's very important. Now,
I want to know, just because I have some assholes out there who say, when did you know you were gay? Or who's the man? Who's the woman?
Right.
Just stupid stuff. Just like, shut up, mind your business.
Right.
Anyway, like, I'm just asking to my audience, did you always know? Or did you found out through time? You ever had a boyfriend?
So yeah, I did. I was in a very long-term relationship with my ex-boyfriend.
Okay.
But I think my parents knew before me. I remember as a kid, they used to always ask me, "Do you like girls? Are you sure? Are you sure?" And I'm like, no. But I think once you're like rubbing two female dolls together, they kind of figure it out on their own. You know what I mean? Like when you're playing with dolls. So maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
Why did you rub two dolls?
I don't know. It's like what kids do. I don't know.
No, that's bizarre. Gay or straight. That's just weird.
No, that's not weird. You're little Barbies. Like, you know how you like bump your Barbies together?
No.
Oh, I don't know what you were playing then. It wasn't fun then.
Although one time looking back on it, now I know why my dad was so scared. I took, those cheap jewelry things? I used to take my Barbie dolls and hang them by their neck around my
See, now
bed.
that's bizarre. Come
And
on,
that is
Jazz.
weird. And my dad would come in my room. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Right.
And I'm like, "I'm just playing."
Right.
He's like, "Never do this again. This is weird. You can't." I'm like, "We're playing." She's like, "No, you're not."
Right.
And like, he couldn't tell me why it was weird. He just said, "Don't do it again." And now that I'm older, what the fuck was wrong with me?
Right.
Like, what?
Right.
And like, the foster care dysfunction is coming out.
Right.
But she made a very big deal. It's like, that's how some people pass away. You can't do that.
Mhm.
And I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
But he's like, "Okay, you don't get it, that's fine. Did you do it again, you're in trouble." And I understood that.
Right.
So I never did it again.
Gotcha.
Jesus, what's wrong with us as kids? Oh, I guess saying that, what you were doing really wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Well then, ew.
I'm not judging.
No judgment.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you do now? Like, tell us, what do you do? Like, what's your job? What's your occupation? Do you feel like saying that on camera? I can bleep it out later.
Yeah, can you bleep it out later?
Yeah, I'll bleep it out.
So I work for...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I am a licensed relationship banker.
What's that? What's a relationship banker?
So, basically, my job title is to keep a book of business, like maintain a book of business with clients that I've found and then maintain longevity within the relationship.
Okay.
So they will come to me for anything that they need. So mortgages, loans, lines of credit cards, credit help, things like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds not exciting to me. Only because I don't get numbers. I don't understand them.
Well, it's not really numbers. It's more so like I know how to connect with people because I'm so transparent of who I am.
Yes.
I think it makes my job a lot easier.
Okay.
And I get to meet a lot of different people, which is great.
Right. We kind of met because you were so friendly.
Yeah.
Like, she says hi to everyone, and I'm just sitting over here with my headphones.
Right.
Like, I hate the world, I hate everybody. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
But if you come up to me, I'm not going to be a dick.
Yeah, of
and
course.
be like, "Shh, leave me alone."
Right.
But yeah, you seem like a really cool person.
Thank you. Same here.
What do you do? I'm not to get like too sad again. So like, is Father's Day a hard time for you?
Absolutely.
Every single time?
Oh, every single time.
What do you do? Like, you can't plan. Like, I know you're gonna get sad, but like, you shouldn't plan on being sad. Don't plan it. It's not good.
That's the thing. So, like, I don't really do much. I kind of just it's again one of those things where I kind of just I'm in the moment. I can't really help how I feel. But this year, I think is more so going to be about making sure my mom's okay because my grandfather recently passed away a couple years ago, and then again my stepdad died last year. So.
Damn. So you have you ever thought about doing something that he loved and to laugh, to bring joy instead of, maybe whatever you do for the norm?
Well, that's the thing. So I try, like, every day, I try to live the way that, one, he would want me to, and then to do things that I know that he loved to do as well.
Okay.
He's a huge football fan, which unfortunately sometimes made me a huge football fan.
What do you mean unfortunately?
Oh, sometimes football is just overwhelming. It's so like, it makes me like riled up, you know what I mean? Sometimes I want to chill, you know?
No.
Like things like that. So I try to do things he loved. Like my stepdad loved playing like Call of Duty. So for me,
that's weird.
I play Call of Duty too. I love it.
You do?
It's fun.
You play
it?
Time.
Like Gears of War, I love it. It's a good time.
PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox. Good,
thank you. Good. So, what's your team for football?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you.
Why not?
Because you'll probably be upset.
Does it start with the C and end with boys?
No.
Thank goodness.
I'm a Giants fan. I'm still in the same division, though.
New York Giants?
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's on the East Coast.
Right.
Why are you a Giants fan? I'm not persecuted. Why?
I just love the team. Like, they've played a lot of good games. They've had a lot of great seasons, obviously, compared to the rings other teams have. No shade.
No shade. Have they ever been to the Super Bowl? Have they ever made it to the playoffs?
Well, they have 4 Super Bowl rings, so yes.
What, the Giants?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Never mind.
4 of them. Yeah.
Never mind. I'm going to shut up. We only have 1. And then I have no problem saying it. Keeping Carson Wentz is the worst thing we could have done. Oh, you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's still, they just extended his contract 4 years for 128. I'm like, what are you doing?
You guys are acting like us, man.
It's not a good look. I was talking to my mom. She's like, I'm no football person, but it seems to me if he's the one that made you win, Nick Foles, you should keep him and drop Carson. Yeah, where did he go?
Oh, I'm not sure. I think maybe the Dolphins.
They need him because the Dolphins, they're not good. But yeah, I guess, so I want to start a new segment, kind of end to, like, you went to college, correct?
I did.
Where did you go?
Lincoln University.
Oh man, I wish I would have gone to an HBCU.
Yeah, that's good.
New York. Where did you go?
I went to Spelman.
Another HBCU.
Oh, good. Like I said, really?
Yeah, Spelman's all girls.
Spelman's all girls. Morehouse is all.
And then Clark's only one.
Right. They said she's in the background. I just needed to know. She's our new higher tech person. She just found out too. So you went to Spelman. You went to Lincoln.
Yeah, the first HBCU.
Did anyone pay for your colleges like the Morehouse guy did?
No, I would. Oh man, I wish.
You wish? Nothing. Ugh, student loans are the worst. Yes.
We've been number one.
We paved the way, so.
Some years now.
So I want to start a fun segment. If you've gone to college, which you have, obviously. Fun college story. Like, what's one of your favorite memories? Now, this is something I'm really gonna have to bleep out. Where you go to school, where you went to, where you work. It's like one of your favorite. And I want it to be like super naughty. Maybe not super naughty, but like it's gotta be something.
That's the thing. I didn't have time for naughty things in college. I dated one guy in college. Broke up with him. Got back with my ex-boyfriend. But I don't know. I was never really there because always the first half of the school year I was away because I was playing volleyball, so we traveled all across the country, so I never really was there.
But that's until like January, right?
Yeah, but it was a good time. That was fun. We snuck into dorms and we had a good time.
Why did you sneak into dorms?
Now that's good. See the other college boys. Come on.
Okay.
We're all different types of HBCUs. Some handsome fellas up there.
Okay. So did you only play HBCUs?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. So that's.
And the girls on the basketball team were nice too.
Oh, good lord. That's your only fun college experience?
Yeah.
Breaking into other dorms?
Yeah, and then we were used to the hotels. I don't know. It was just a fun experience. Like, volleyball is my favorite experience from college. Nothing slutty. No.
It didn't have to be slutty. It could have been.
Naughty.
No, I'll tell you mine. I'm going to have to bleep out his name. And as you all know, I have dwarfism. I was at one of my friends' houses at Penn State, and my one friend, Jason, was super drunk, and so was I. And we were drinking and smoking and having a great time. I wasn't in my chair. I was walking. Jason was so high, he picked me up out of my the chair I was sitting in, and he's like, "This is my baby. This is my actual baby, and my baby needs weed." And I looked at him like, "What?" And I'm like, "Jason, put me down." He's like, "Why would I put my baby down?" Like, it was the funniest thing ever. So he literally walked around the entire house screaming, "My baby needs weed." And after a while, he was kind of cute. I just let it happen. I'm like, "Yeah, what he said. I need weed." So there's a picture in the universe of him literally holding me like a child and us doing blood and words.
Oh my god.
And you've never had anything that exciting?
No. No one's picking me up. No.
Spelman? Nothing?
We just had a good time.
You just had a good time? You're going to leave it at that? Just a good time?
Yeah, a good time.
And you played all 4 years of volleyball?
So no, I actually didn't finish. So I stayed for 2 years, and then they got rid of my major when I was there in my semester.
How did they get rid of your major?
They got rid of the education department, and that's what I was in school to be a special ed teacher.
What? So what?
Mm-hmm.
They can do that?
Yeah.
Just get rid of a major?
Yep.
Do they not think teachers aren't important?
I don't know. This school was kind of weird. It's getting back on track now, I guess.
I'll bleep out the word Lincoln if just because you said they're kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't care.
You don't care? Lincoln, I've been to their campus. It's nice. Did you live on campus?
I did.
Okay. Did you get scholarship?
I did. I got a scholarship from the. I don't know. I don't remember. One of the African American organizations.
Nice. I know. That's what I should have done. I bet I would have finished if I went to an HBCU, because my friends would have been like, nigga, you gotta finish. Right, you know what I mean? But, you know.
They weren't,
Huh?
It depends on your group of friends.
I would have had friends that would have been
yeah.
like, yeah. So, I guess, let's see where we are with time. I guess to kind of end things, I always tell people, you have to tell me something funny. You have to tell me something hilarious about your life. You have to end. Well, no, first, I gotta know if you, only if you want to, because you're, you're of color, I need to know, are you registered to vote?
I am.
Okay. Actually, we have a little more time than I thought. You're registered to vote?
Absolutely.
Were you able to vote? Yeah, you were able to vote a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
Did you?
I vote every year.
You vote every year? That's your kid. I got to vote for Obama one, because I was 16 the first time.
Yeah. You're right, because you're right, the first time he was elected. I remember the inauguration. Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, so what would you tell, because I think this is very important, what would you tell our people of color, especially the young ones, why it's so important to vote? Because some of these kids out here, they just don't understand.
Yeah. It's a lot of reasons why voting is so important. But I think that if you make it more relatable to yourself, to your family, and understand that the things that are changing currently with the political climate, it affects you and your family more than I think people realize, because it's not really at the surface.
Right.
Because a lot of politicians will typically hide the things that really affect us.
Right.
So we are discouraged to vote, or we feel like it's not necessary to vote, especially the way that the whole voting system is. You think your voice doesn't matter.
Right.
But it does. Like, especially for Pennsylvania, we're one of the major voting states.
Yes.
And the fact that we became a Republican voting state a couple years ago was the first time it happened in probably, I think, a decade or more. So I think it's very, very important to vote, especially if you don't like the way that things are going, especially you don't like the way that police things, how politicians make rules over women's bodies, like if you have a mother or a sister, things like that. So I think that's why it's really important if you relate it back to yourself.
I mean, that's how they do everything. Like, if it doesn't affect them, they're not going to do anything. Yeah. So we should be the same way.
Right.
I agree. I told a small part of me, just a small part of me thinks that voting doesn't matter. But because I am black and because I know why people before me had to sacrifice for us to be able to vote, I'm not going to not vote. You know what I mean? Even if I don't think it means anything.
Right.
It meant something to them.
Absolutely.
So you got to do it. It's not an option.
Yeah, I think it's really important that you said that, because you think about how many people have died even during the civil rights movement.
Yes.
How many people, especially in like the Black Panther, community, things like that. All of this would be for nothing if we don't actually exercise the rights that they fought for. So I think you were very spot on with that one.
I mean, my mom, like for my 18th birthday, one of the things she got me was a registration slip. I'm like, where are my other presents?
Right.
Not that I got too many, because I never asked, but she's like, here you go, happy birthday. Register to vote.
Yeah, and I was excited to vote when I first did. I think maybe because I was voting for Obama, I was like, it was just such a good feel then, and how different it is now. People are just And please look into politicians because people I'm not going to put my political views on anyone, but just look into the candidates that are voting. Most people are going to vote for an African American female that's about to run up, and I think you should just look and research the politicians who are looking to run for president this year.
And use at least, this is just me, use at least 2 or 3 sources. Mm-hmm. When you look these people up, never rely on one. Mm-hmm. And then, because I always feel like if more than 2 or 3 people are saying the same thing, there's probably a little bit of truth based in that.
And don't use news sources like CNN, Fox, and they're a lot of times especially CNN, they have reliable sources. But depending on who's writing the article, they're still human too. It might be a biased opinion, so I'd rather you look up the facts and then make a decision based off of that too.
You're not a CNN fan?
Listen, I like CNN, but I just think at the end of the day, there's someone who's writing these articles, and there might be factual content within the article, but there may still be a biased opinion within it to sway your decision. And just because people are human, you know what I mean? I just talking right now, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to give my political views, but then I'm still swaying toward away from a candidate who I don't believe is a good suit for president this upcoming election.
Right.
So I think that you just have to be mindful, look at the facts, and don't be swayed by someone else's opinion, regardless of where it's coming from.
For me, I'm Democrat, but I feel like there are too many people.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
But every year it winds down in a couple months.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I think my mom said by the end of the summer, if people don't have the correct in a caucus or whatever, then they're automatically out. So that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
I won't get into who I want just yet, because it's too early. But there are a couple people that I'm interested in.
Here.
I will say I do like Buttigieg a lot.
Okay.
He's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
But I need to know more about his policy, just to make sure. But other than that, I always like to point it out, because I know Trump is watching. He's not. I think he's an asshole. And
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. He's just
he's moronic, so.
Somebody I had on yesterday called him a nihilist. Somebody that really doesn't believe in anything. Yeah. And I'm like, that's a great word for him. And, on that note, tell me something funny before we end.
No, I'm not a funny person. You just have to catch me in the moment.
You gotta tell a joke.
Tell a joke? Oh, come on. I don't have any jokes.
It could be a dad joke.
Oh, that's sick.
I love dad jokes.
I used to do dad jokes all the time.
Wait, I just realized what I said. Shit.
No, it's fine.
You don't be.
I don't have a joke. I'm not a knock who's there kind of person.
You're not.
Diora, she has good knock jokes. Put her on the spot.
You got a knock joke?
She always does. We do it every morning at work.
I say shot because she's gonna be in the next podcast next week. You got a knock joke? I mean,
so annoying.
Don't mind me saying, and I'll bleep it out if not. I mean, you have children, so I'm sure you gotta come up with things to say to them. Jokes.
I know that's happy.
I do have to come up with jokes for them. They kind of make me laugh a little bit more.
Okay.
Then I guess I make them laugh. Let me see. I may have a Laffy Taffy joke for you though.
See?
Not a knock
She keeps them on.
What's a Laffy Taffy joke?
You know, Laffy Taffy rappers, they have jokes on each of them.
What's a Laffy Taffy rapper?
You know, Laffy Taffy Candy.
Yeah.
So you lift up the phone.
Oh, the rapper. I thought you meant the song.
No.
Laffy Taffy.
No.
Which is not a good song.
You just have to catch me in the moment with my jokes and kind of funny, I think. Funny sometimes. Depends on what I'm saying.
I think I'm funny all the time.
Really? I can't come up with a joke.
I know yesterday I said a joke. I said, was that funny? And she said, I'm glad you found it funny.
Right.
And I'm like, the shade. The shade. So while you're looking up a joke to end this, nothing funny has happened in your life the last 24 hours, last week.
We went to karaoke yesterday. That's always funny.
Oh, there we go. That's how what's your song?
I don't have a song. That was my first time going to karaoke.
Oh, okay.
So I sang, I kept calling it SUV. I don't know why, but it was SWV. I kept calling it SUV for I was so drunk yesterday. I sung that. We sung Pocahontas.
Pocahontas.
We sung Mulan. It was a great time.
Where is this karaoke?
We went to Yakitori Boys.
Where is that?
11th Street.
And Market?
Grace.
Oh.
It's in Chinatown.
Okay, I can dig it.
It's a good time, and we had a room to ourselves.
Oh, I didn't know you could rent out rooms.
Yeah, and if you spend more than $80, the room is free. We got food, sake bombs. It was a good time.
And you sang Disney songs.
I sang SWB. We sung Mariah Carey. Oh, we just had a great time. Beyonce, Adele, yeah.
No,
it got kind of depressing.
Adele gets me in my feelings.
Every time. Like, I'm not chasing pavements. Come on, man. It's depressing.
You know who actually really got me into my feelings,
Oh.
which made me upset? Billie Eilish.
You know what's crazy? I was listening to a song and I'm like, who says that? I said to Siri. And
yeah.
It said Billie Eilish, and I never heard of her before.
I love the song.
It was like, the party's over or something.
Yeah. I'm like, how old? I'm like, first of, because I know Billie, you're listening. Anyway, I'm just like, how old is this chick? I found out she's 17, and I'm like, this bitch got me in my feelings.
Yeah, she got some soul to her, man.
I'm like, she's 10 years younger than me,
Wow.
and I'm over here sad because she got me in my feelings. And I'm like, what is... First of all, kudos to you, Billie. You're a talented artist.
Absolutely.
For being a kid. But I was pissed.
Right.
I have a joke.
All right, I'm ready. New York, what's your joke?
All right. What do you get when you have a cat that eats lemons?
A sourpuss.
Oh, that was good.
Nobody likes a sourpuss.
No one likes... Cats are evil, but that's another...
Yeah, that's another story.
That's another story. And on that amazing note, thank you so much for being on the
Thank you, babe,
pod.
as always.
I just gotta say, I like to be prepared for my podcast. We're talking earlier. It's like, well, can you do it today?
Right.
Can you do it in like 45 minutes? I won't have any other time. And I'm like, what the fuck? But I knew it would be an interesting story.
Yeah.
So you should feel special.
Thank
I did
you.
all of this for you.
Yeah.
I could have said no, but that would have been mean.
Right.
Anyway, and you're
it's
cool.
a good message though today, like for people who want to have their father, I guess, on Father's Day. It's okay. So
I just want the story to end. This is like, if you're going through something, it doesn't have to be as brutal as this, but if you're going through something, talk to someone.
Yeah,
especially
always.
in our community.
Yeah.
We need more therapists.
Yeah.
Like, you know how...
And more therapists of color. We definitely need more therapists of color to be more relatable, yeah.
My therapist is of color.
Mine isn't, but she's wonderful.
She's not. But, like, I'm not going to say it just because for privacy and everything. But the thing I like about her is there's certain concepts that I don't have to explain because she's the same race as I.
Yeah.
So, like, I was having problems with a family member. And because the issue is a traditional issue in the black community, I did not have to explain it. Because she's like, oh, I get it, whatever. You know what I mean? So, and that's not to say that white people, for us, isn't good either.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just saying that it's easier.
To talk to someone who understands you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because the time I could have, maybe with the person who isn't of color, time I might have wasted explaining why it is what it is.
Correct.
She already got it.
Mm-hmm.
And we could spend time on the issue at hand.
Absolutely.
But, yes, and you said you went to school for psychology?
I did. That was my major in psychology. So.
And excited to hear that you heard Neora's psychology major. You spell that Noir? Your name? D.
It's a D-I-O-R.
Like Christian Dior. You want to do?
Is that
like the perfume? Christian Dior.
Interesting. All right, thank you guys for watching. See a therapist, no matter what your race is, and I hope you have a father and you have an awesome Father's Day. And my dad, because he's not listening, you know, Dad, have a great Father's Day. I love you, Dad. All right, bye.